Hello and welcome to FDTV. We are back again with another episode. I'm your host Ali, joined with my fellow co-host Jawad. Jawad, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Ali. Make sure to hit a thumbs up button before we get started. And hey, subscribe to our channel. Let's get into this.
So let's talk about Leeds United, one of the surprise packages from the last season of the Premier League. So they have just signed a left back from Barcelona, Junior Firpo, 24-year-old, for a fee of 12.8 million. I think that's a very good signing. Obviously, he was not going to get enough time at Barcelona because of Jordi Alba and a number of enforcements at the left back spot. So, what do you make of the signing? And in your opinion, what are the realistic expectations for Leeds United to improve next season?
This club, you got to keep in mind, was at the very top of English football once upon a time. And then they had a massive fall at a point that they were playing in League One, right? So for those of you who are not familiar, the way the English football system is set up, it goes Premier League, Championship, League One, League Two. And they were playing in League One football. They made their way up to Championship, won it, and came to Premier League. Now, a club of the stature really has a big sport behind it. In terms of the supporters, you got to think of and look at numbers similar to Manchester United. A very well-liked club in their region, but a very hated club at the same time because of their rivalries with Manchester United. Apart from going away from the history, signing a player such as Firpo, you might think that who's this guy? He doesn't really ring a bell. But this is a player who was linked with clubs like AC Milan. He was playing for Barcelona. He was linked with a move away to other big clubs as well. And for Leeds United to sign him under the nose of all those other clubs is a big statement, right? And a lot of it has to do with the superstar aura that Marcelo Bielsa brings with him, right? Because really think about it. They finished 9th last season in Premier League. There's not a lot of attraction towards a club which is, again, bound to finish similar to that. It's going to finish in the top half of the Premier League. Not so many, you can call it, expectations for the club. So if they're able to do that, and if they're able to really play a brand of football that we have come to expect from them, you got to expect them to win more fans over. So do you think they stay in the top half of the Premier League or they go below that?
I think the only worry for me is their squad depth. Marcelo Bielsa can transform any player, and I consider him one of the best managers in the world of football. His technical aspect of the game is top-notch, and his understanding of attacking football is one of the best in Europe. So I'm only worried about Leeds United burning off, because when I looked at the stats of last season, they covered 30% more distance than any other team in the Premier League. Their midfielder, Calvin Phillips, was the highest runner in terms of magnitude in the Premier League, and he's a defensive midfielder. So think about how much intensity they play at and what is their training strategy like. So the only thing is burning out quicker. Otherwise, I think that they can follow the trend of Leicester City and continue improving in the Premier League. Obviously, I don't want that to happen because they're rivals of Manchester United since day one, and I hope they get relegated. But the neutral side of me, the football fan that likes the football they play, wants them to stay and climb up the table. When I look at their attacking side of things, Patrick Bamford, who was a Middlesbrough flop, who was let go by Chelsea and failed at a number of different clubs, scored 17 goals and 7 assists in 38 matches last season. That just showcases what a brilliant manager Marcelo Bielsa is. Other than that, Rafinha, the talented Brazilian right winger, contributed with 7 goals and 11 assists last season. And Jack Harrison, who was bought in from Man City, got 8 goals and 8 assists last season. Now that is a lot of attacking contributions from all the major people in the attacking trio of Leeds United. What do you think is the right way to go? Do they need to get more defenders in, or they should get some squad depth for the attacking side of things? Because at the end of the day, they can only focus on one area, because obviously they're not the biggest club in England financially.
You're absolutely right. So one thing that I really think that they need improving on is defense. And it's not to say that they need to bring in defenders. It's just to say that, hey, once in a while you have to defend, right? Not all the matches you can outscore the team by 3 or 4 goals. That's not possible, right? You're going to come across teams which are going to blitz past you, and then you don't have the defense to really do anything because you're playing so high up the pitch, right? the way they have set up, almost all of the play that they do is in the opposition's half, right? They're not a team that's going to build from the back and they're happy to play defender to defender, just lateral passes. They only play vertically, right? And that hurts a team when you're facing a team which is quick in pace, like obviously the top Premier League clubs like Chelsea, Manchester City, even Liverpool for that matter, have lightning fast players up front. And to deal with that on the counter and just to deal with it overall is something which is going to be very, very difficult for them. So again, who am I to say something to Bielsa? But if I were to say something, is focus on defense a little bit, right? Because you don't win championships with attack, right? You win a lot of fans, and they have won a lot of fans over with the brand of football they play. But if they really want to make a name for themselves and actually fight for the European places, but you got to keep in mind, right? 4 Champions League spots, like 2 or 3 Europa League spots, and then like 2 spots for the UEFA Europa Conference League. There's room for you to qualify for some sort of European club competition, and that should be the aim for Leeds United, because that's where they're going to bring in the money, which will then in turn allow them to spend a little bit more and then really make a challenge for clubs such as Aston Villa, clubs such as Everton, who are a staple of the Premier League, even though they don't often finish in the top 4. So for me, Leeds United really just needs to alter their approach a little bit. They've won the fans that they've wanted. Now it's time for them to really, really win something in reality of it. And that's qualifying for European club competition. Don't you agree?
Absolutely, I agree. And considering the brilliant performances from the managerial hot seat of Marcelo Bielsa, I think Leeds should take full advantage of, put financial faith in him as well, and get the players that he wants to implement a perfect system that will help Leeds United climb up the Premier League table. Now, my final question to you is this. They finished 9th last season, which was 8 points off the top 4 spots, and I don't see them finishing in the top 4. Do you think that they can crack the top 8 of the Premier League?
I think they should. It should be an easier task. But hey, then again, look at the teams. So you've got Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, and Chelsea finishing in the top 4. Then you've got Tottenham, you've got Arsenal, and then you've got Leicester City. Obviously, I'm forgetting about Leicester City, right? Leicester City, and then West Ham, right? A lot of big clubs. So that almost makes the top 8, right? For them to crack that is going to be a tough net to crack. But I do think that 1 or 2 teams out of those teams that I just mentioned are bound to drop off, and Leeds can take advantage of that. So it's going to be a tough season, but I believe in the brand of football that they play. It's altered a little bit in a sense that they're not leaking so many goals over the stretch of a season. They should be able to easily qualify for at least UEFA Europa Conference League.
Thank you so much for watching another video of FDTV.
It's been great to have you joining us. Again, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Every single subscription helps.
It motivates to put out more football content on a daily basis. Until then, see you next time. FDTV out.